Hi Gemini, welcome to your week ahead horoscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Gemini, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that's just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week this week, you've got the Hierophant card, right? So in a lot of ways, this is going to see you checking in with maybe so yes, it can be a spiritual practice, but it's usually the stuff around the spiritual practice. So really this could be a time where you're really paying attention to the dedication that you have towards a spiritual practice, if you actually have one. This could be a time where you are reaching towards that kind of thing. I almost get the sense from this as well. There's a sense of, I almost want to say, like, I don't know whether this is you becoming a gatekeeper or you as a gatekeeper are maybe starting to it's like you're starting to maybe not soften your stance on something, but maybe you're starting to adjust an idea. And the reason I feel this is important is because on a daily level, this is going to see you doing something different. And in turn, it's going to attract either different people to you, different energies, maybe higher, you know, echelons or echelons, whichever way you like to say that word, could start gravitating towards you. This really does feel for me though that there's something on your path that you do on a daily level that is now going to start to change. Another way that this could show up for a lot of you as well, this could be either the filing of some sort of official or legal document. This could be where you're having to interact with it would usually be like a local authority, or, you know, it's usually some sort of bigger institution. You might find this week that you're having to interact with one whether you like it or not. This could be anything from, you know, again, filing paperwork. You know, like when you buy a house, you have to do all of these, you know, this weird paperwork stuff. When you, you know, set up a business, you have to do all of that as well. There's a lot of you that seem to be working on something big behind the scenes right now that you're not really sharing with anybody. And it's really weird because I'm seeing in my mind's eye, what I see is all of these smaller pieces that are feeding into bigger pieces that are actually, the bigger pieces are part of something else that's like a big thing. So it's like I'm seeing all of these little things spiraling around these bigger things that are spiraling into this one thing. So I probably sound like a complete crackpot right now, more so than usual, but that's the only way that I can describe it in my mind. Like whatever it is that you're working on, it's something big. It's like you're gearing up towards something that is huge, you know. And for some of you maybe this is on a spiritual level, but for a lot of you this will likely be on the wider world stage in some way, right? It's going to see you interacting with a large governing body, maybe an authority of some sort as well. It's very, very possible. For those of you that are making applications for permits, visas, documentation or anything like that, this bodes very well for you doing this work this week. All right, so if you haven't got your seat on the winter solstice session, you can get that on the link in the description box below. I have two very special guests. If you saw the Venus retrograde special that is up on my channel with Denise from Human Design with Denise, you can you want to be there, right? Because she's going to be there talking about all of the HD transits that are going to stand out for next year and the themes that we might need to be aware of. I've got Heather from Astrology with Heather who's going to be there giving us all of her insight with the astrological knowledge, and then yours truly will be there reading cards, you know, talking about all kinds of stuff. So it's going to be truly marvelous. It's bigger and better than ever, and you will get the recording this time so you can watch it back if you can't be there on the day. With that said, please attend. It would be lovely to have you. For your actions and options this week, you've got the 6 of Cups. All right, so for some of you, whatever this big idea, it's not even an idea, this is something that you're already working on. It's gone past the conception stage. It's already in the process of being made real or being born. Whatever it is though, it has an element of the past to it. For some of you, maybe this is you're moving back to a place that you grew up in. For some of you, maybe you are moving to, yeah, like maybe you're moving to a place that you grew up in. Or for some of you, this could be that you are, maybe, you know, maybe whatever idea or thing that you're working on right now, this is the realization, this is the steps of realization to a very old goal or a very long held dream or wish of some sort. The other thing with the Six of Cups as well, this is you really, like, this is nostalgia fever, right? Like this week you could find that you are way in your past, like you're really, you know, reliving happy memories. For some of you, could be reconnecting with someone. I like this Hierophant card for seeing something through to completion or ending something that's been a loose end for a long time as well with this Six of Cups. Because in my mind, like I'm seeing this thing, it's like a loop and it's like being tied off. It's like, this is done now, right? So that Six of Cups is nice because it offers a harmonious energy of something being done. For your communications and conversations, you got the four, you got the Horned God. So this is the Green Witch Tarot. Isn't he just majestic? So all jokes aside, behave yourself, Rafi. You've got the Hierophant card here with the Emperor. That is, usually there's a few ways that this could show up. One, for some of you, could be spending some time at a hospital this week. Touch wood, you know, that it's not for any serious reason. Maybe you're going to visit somebody. You know, that's one way that this could show up. I've seen it show up that way a lot of times, actually. But another way that this could show up is literally you are working with, dealing with, interacting with some sort of local authority or governing body. And the fact that the Emperor has shown up here as well is what really confirms this for me now. So for a lot of you, there's some sort of paperwork or documentation that's really needing to be looked at this week. I'm sorry that it's made its way into your holiday season, but there's nothing for it. Whatever comes up in this area of your life this week, do not ignore it, all right? Get it done, get it dusted. When it comes to those of you that are employed, there could be some serious conversations with your boss this week. And I've got this really sneaking suspicion that some of you might be hearing that your boss is leaving. This might be a time where they throw in the towel, or some idea that they wanted to implement has gone awry or gone a bit salty, and they're like, okay, you know what, we're going to have to scrap this. It looks like you're quite happy about this though. It's kind of like, you know, that secret, like, oh, that's horrible, with a big smile, you know, grinning teeth underneath your hand. This could also be for those of you that are employed, business owners, entrepreneurs, whatever you are doing this week, there's capstone energy about it. Now, there's two ways that this can show up, right? So sometimes it will be the cornerstone. The cornerstone is the first stone that you lay for your business or your idea. This week it feels like you're putting a capstone or the finishing touch on something. And I kind of feel for a lot of you, this might be changing your client base, changing the way that you interact with your clients, maybe opening up a new service or offering a new product. There's something here that you're going to do in a very different way, but it's here to stay, right? There's nothing about these two cards ever suggests that it's you know, like a flash in the pan. Like whatever this is, it's here to stay. For those of you that are retired or no longer working, I mean, one way that this could show up, you know, that trip to the hospital, it could just be a routine checkup that seems to have taken on some sort of epic proportion. You know, very, very possible. You know, sometimes they just want to cover their own butts. One way that this could also show up for you, though, this could be some of you deciding to go back to school. So if you're retired or no longer working, this could be you like saying, you know what else can I do with my time? Get more educated. As a Gemini, it's kind of one of the things that you guys love to do. It's what makes you so so extremely intelligent. Sorry, I had to get the bloody words out. For your love and relations, you've got the Chariot card. So my money this week, for those of you that are single and ready to mingle, it does look like a reconnection, possible rekindling of a relationship, or a tryst with somebody, right? It doesn't have to be that you get back together with them and it's this whole epic saga. For some of you that might be the case, but it looks like it starts small. But there is a reconnection here with somebody that just knows you, right? It's easy, it's comfortable, it's fun. I mean, it's the Chariot card, you know, with the Emperor, so it's going to be hot and heady, but after that, it might not necessarily substantiate into much. It could just be one of those, you know what, let's not be alone at the holidays together. All right, and it could just literally be that, and an agreement that that's what it's going to be, and it doesn't cause any problems or issues. For those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, I mean, for all of you actually, it looks like there could be some sort of travel or interaction with persons traveling to you. You know, makes sense, holiday season and all of that. But yeah, for those of you that are partnered, this could be one of those times where it's like things finally get back to a better space or an even keel. Try not to overdo it in the love sector this week though. For your money and materials, this is nice, right? You got the Two of Wands right underneath the Emperor, right underneath the Hierophant card. Whatever it is that you're working on, whatever this thing is that's, you know, starting to shape up and become this thing, it's got your money, right? Whatever it is that you're working towards, the finances or the rewards of this looked absolutely brilliant for you. For those of you that are thrust into some sort of leadership position from this week onwards, take it, right? Take it and run with it. For when it comes to your physical health and vitality, the Two of Wands is going to be your head, your noggin, and you've got a double hit of this energy now, because the Two of Wands is Jupiter in Aries, right? Yes, Jupiter in Aries, or the Sun in Aries. I can't remember off the top of my head. My mind's gone blank now. And the Horned God card is Aries, right? So the fact that you've got this double Aries energy in this space, the mind could be doing 10 to the dozen. Touch wood, hope I'm wrong. Maybe you're getting a headache. And it could be pervading or persistent, and it feels like it's because there's so much running through your brain at the moment. So just take a minute to consider, like, you know, compartmentalizing everything. And then when it comes to your home and environment, Two of Wands is another card that speeds things up, right? So, and you've already got a lot of sped up energy sort of in and around the home in some regard. So just be mindful of that, all right? But this could also be a week where that one obviously wants out. This could be a week where you are nice. It could be a week where I almost want to say like it could just be a week where you're coming and going a lot from the home, right? You've got the Gate 15 and Humanity. So for this full moon, that's going to be in your sign. So, you know, technically in your first house, to a lesser degree for the, you know, if you're an ascendant Gemini, the full moon's going to be in your first house. If you are, you know, to a lesser degree, the sun and the moon, depending on where that is, right? But what this suggests is there's a spotlight on you this week, right? You are being seen, whatever you bring out into the world, especially with the Humanity card, because it's like you're being received really well, you're being perceived very well, you're being seen really, I want to say dynamically and powerfully, right? Like there's a sense here that you're being elevated in some way, or you're being seen in a way that really feels true to who you actually are. And whatever it is that you're putting out into the world around this week or around this full moon, it's like it has an impact on the world. It's received by people and slots into the, you know, the basin of humanity in some way. Like this is very, very interesting card to have, and it doesn't show up very often. So whatever this thing that I keep seeing that's spiraling, that you're building on, it's going to be big. It's going to be really very well received, right? So whatever you're putting the finishing touches on this week, it grows and it expands. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up, and also have a wonderful holiday season. I hope to see you at the winter solstice. Take care, and I'll see you soon.